everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Gamer Chat. I'm one of your hosts, Davey Boy, and beside me, chatting away with me, is my lovely co-host, Joe. Joe, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me. Good to be back. Let's go.
Yeah, we're back on our weekly chat in the gaming cycle. I do apologize for people who are listening that my lisp is a bit more prominent this week. I got my front tooth taken out, and I'm waiting to get it fixed or quote unquote replaced. So I'm gonna have a list for a little
Good
bit.
game.
So yeah, like my other content that I was supposed to do this entire week, like I've been off work for an entire week, and I've literally just been trying to recover the entire time, and I'm still not getting any bit better, and it's just agonizing pain nonstop. Like I'm trying to like say certain things to my partner, she's just laughing at me because the lisp just doesn't help. She can't take me seriously with it. So that's just been that. So instead of being annoyed, I've just been playing games. But what about you? How have you been? You've been up to much?
I've been really, really busy, man. Like there's a lot going on at work, and and obviously there's a lot going on in my personal life as well at the moment. Like we've trying to move. Sorry, we're trying to sort of put a house on the market and move, and I'm sure I don't have to bore anyone with telling people how stressful moving is because it's one of those things everyone knows. Um, yeah, moving's pretty stressful. So stressed, but not. It doesn't sound like I've been. I feel like my stuff. There's a very small violin out compared to what you've got. So yeah, I won't moan anymore.
No, it's fine. Could be much worse. You could be a Spurs fan on the brink of relegation in football. You know.
Yeah, I to be fair, like the as much as I would love to see Spurs go down, just because I worship chaos, I don't particularly hate Tottenham very much. More than the fans are very, very irritating. But I would rather Spurs stay up and Arsenal don't win the Premier League.
I mean, I want them to go down. Like, and we at Leeds do have a chance to send them down because back in, I believe it was the 2022-23 season, they relegated us on the last day.
Ooh.
So
Yeah,
it would be really nice if we made it to the Spurs game and we relegated them. That would be amazing for me.
I do want them to go down, but if I had to choose between them going down and Arsenal not winning the Premier League, I would probably pick Arsenal not winning the league. But I guess that's because it's been more relevant to me recently. But I definitely understand why you would rather Tottenham go down. Tottenham going down would just be funny, but Arsenal not winning the Premier League, that means something. But yeah, I don't know. Both, to be fair, I know the fans like really detest each other, but they're cut from the same jib, really, aren't they? The Arsenal and the Tottenham fans. Yeah, I think it's just fans of London clubs tend to be the most sort of
obnoxious,
embarrassing.
Yeah,
yeah, and obnoxious. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that is just something that I'm trying to stay positive of. As we spoke last week on the whatchamacallit, on the podcast, we spoke about how our clubs were doing relatively okay. My club doing exceptional at the moment, about to
Yeah, I'm pleased for you, man.
Yeah, won 3-0 yesterday, and we have another match on a Wednesday. Then we have the semi-final on Sunday. And if we win that, we're through to the final, and that'll be huge, as well as possibly having the potential of staying up in the Prem. So I'm not going to say much more on that, but next week you will know. You will know next week if I'm in a good mood or not. But yeah, and like Liverpool at the moment with yourself, it's in the last like minute of the game. It's 1-1.
That's
So
11 minutes added on though.
yeah, it's a bit insane with the added time lately in a lot of the matches.
I knew we were going to get a draw. By the way, we just can't for some reason. We're not. We have a very, very poor record at Goodison Park. Oh, not Goodison Park, but their new stadium now. But
The
whatever it
the
is, like,
Dickinson Hill Stadium
yeah, yeah, it's an I can't even say it
or the
just
Hill Dickinson,
without
something
giggling.
like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the clue's in the name, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just we just have a very poor record against them away. Better than theirs against us, admittedly, but that's not hard. Um, uh, we just need the season to be over with.
Yeah,
To be
we're
honest with you,
almost there.
like, I
There's
mean,
5 games left. Five
5 games left, and we
games
still
left.
need. We just need. Thank Villa winning is not helpful for us.
Yeah, they scored in the 90th plus minute, the 93rd
mm,
minute to make it
yeah.
4-3. Well, that
Oh,
looks like it's been
brilliant.
a cracking game, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the big game of the day. I think the City and Arsenal game later is going to be a snooze fest. I think it'll be a 0-0 draw.
no, I think it's going to be a 4-1 to City.
You think it's going to be 4-1 to City? I hope so, because that would take them level on goal difference.
Yeah, it would be great. I'm looking forward to it, but that's enough of the football news this week because we we could talk all day. We will talk about it more next week if Leeds do manage to get through to the semi-final. I will say that, or through to the final.
Let me ask you
I,
this: if you go through to the final, are you going to go?
I wish, but have you seen the pricings of the tickets?
I know, yeah. Tickets these days are
They're
God.
like the 2 grand was like, or like 2 to 3 grand was like the cheapest ticket I saw.
To be fair, right, and so anyone who listens in the States, which I'm sure there probably would be, like, there I went to an NBA game when I was at GDC, and the prices of tickets are expensive over there as well. And that was just like a standard game with the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors or something. Um, it's yeah, price of tickets over here is much the same for soccer games or football, right? It's not good. Um, yeah, but for a cup final, it's going to be very high. And you know because it's when's the last time you guys were in a cup final?
I wasn't born, so I don't
Yeah,
know. I think it was like in the 70s.
yeah. So the point being is that there's going to be a lot of very very thirsty Leeds fans going wanting to go to that. Um, and I
Yeah,
assume you'd probably play City in the final.
depending if Southampton have anything to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, it would be amazing for you guys if it was Southampton because you'd be very very strong favourites.
I mean, you say
Um,
that, but last time we played we played the playoff final in the championship against Southampton and we lost. We have it like it. I don't remember the last time we actually scored in a final as well when we have been in one. So it's been quite some time. So, but I want to get through beating Chelsea first, and we'll see them because they've been on a horrible run of form. So that could be in our favor. So
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I would just like the experience to be in the final, even if like Man City gets through and beats us. I would still like to go, I'd still like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I hope you know what I'm rooting for you, mate, because I certainly don't have a horse in this race. So yeah, I would love to I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I've been really sinking hours into Everwind. I've pretty much been on it 4 out of 5 nights this during the week. I've been playing with my friend John Wood. Shout out Jay Woody, actually, he's a great guy. And yeah, we've been sinking a lot of hours into it. Honestly, man, I can't. It's like a game mode which I've always wanted to have in Minecraft. Um, like the option of some kind of like it's like the adventure and survival element of Minecraft. Like I know there is that to it, but it's kind of this is a lot more sort of streamlined. And obviously in Everwind, it's like rather than Minecraft, like you are generally everything's underground or on the surface, whereas the verticality in Everwind is very much like obviously there's you are the sea level is the sea level, and there's loads of like floating islands, so it's kind of like Tears of the Kingdom, like that in a sense. And you have a, a boat thing. It's not really a boat; it's more like a flying boat. But it's cool. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. Like we took out like a boss thing recently, which is like an ent, which is a relatively early on boss. But we've been just exploring. We've spent so much time exploring, and we kind of like we were trying to figure out how to find the stuff to get your ship so you can increase how many blocks up you can go. And we got into like the bottom bits of one of the islands, and we sort of dug our way all the way up and ended up in some dungeon. It was so cool. Anyway, I'm I'm going out on a limb, but it's a lot of fun to play. It's even more fun playing with a friend. Um, and if you ever feel like playing, dude, then I'd love to play some Everwind with you. But yeah, what about you? What have you been playing? That's all I've been playing. I haven't gone back to Split Fiction, so I think you're going to have to carry us with the volume of games this week because I know you've been playing a few things. One of them I'm especially interested in hearing about.
Yeah, so the usual. I've been playing some Crimson Desert. I'm on chapter 7 now. Like, had to go through a bit of the campaign to progress some of the camp stuff. I now have all three or the other two unlockable characters, so I have all
So,
unlockable characters now. So, oh my god, I know what you just said.
yeah.
uh,
Oh dear.
for audio listeners, Liverpool have just scored. So, in the last minute of the game.
Sorry, everyone. I'm cutting you off there, mate. But yeah,
I
Van
know,
Dijk just scored.
I know that you don't win that often, so it's nice to see.
No, we
Yeah,
don't.
but yeah, no, we. I was playing that. Uh, there was a point where I knew Pragmata was coming up, so I kind of left it at the moment where I'll come back to it at some stage. I don't know when, because as I'm about to talk about now, Pragmata, Capcom's latest release, is absolutely phenomenal. So basically, this game was first shown at the PlayStation 5 reveal when they showed off the console. This game was also shown then. So,
Yes, a
so
long time coming.
yeah, that was 6 years ago, I think.
Yeah. Do you think development hell or what?
Oh, it was absolutely. I'm very curious to know what this game looked like previously, but uh, it is very interesting. You're Hugh, astronaut from Earth, and you're on the lunar station, and you're trying to find out what's going on. And you meet this little girl called Diana. She's a robot, and like basically she helps you hack things. And the enemies so far in this game have been phenomenal. Like, there are very little of them, but when you'll always come at the end of the level, you can come up against a new boss, and the bosses are pretty cool. And this game, I've been playing it on my big TV, and my god, this is probably one of the nicest games I've played in a while. The Capcom re-engine is just insane.
Yeah, Capcom. I mean, and I think this is quite nice, really, because we can sort of but it's almost its own topic. Like I know you've been obviously playing Pragmata and stuff like that, but Capcom have not missed lately, have they? Like, in fact, I say lately. I think it goes back to like, what 2017 or something. They've been churning out bangers since. That's nearly 10 years of banger after banger. I mean, maybe they had a couple that didn't hit critically as well, but I mean, Pragmata is 97% on Steam at the moment.
Yeah,
And I mean, obviously, I think Dragon's Dogma wasn't critically as well received, but because I think maybe there's some issues, some a bit buggy or something. But like overall, like people were like it's a fantastic game though. So yeah, I mean, they have been properly on it, Capcom, and it's fantastic to see. And I like this game. Pragmata was okay. Yeah, it was revealed with the PS5. Obviously, it's been development hell, but when they did release it, and this just proves right why it's not worth releasing a broken game and like taking the time to finish it. Okay, maybe Capcom are fortunate enough that they have got the finances in order to support a game that's development hell and continue to pay the team. But it just goes to show that wait and release the game in a good state, and it will be and you can see what positives can actually come from that. Look how well received it is.
Absolutely. So, like, we can think back as far as like Monster Hunter World when that came out,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
and
well,
then
how so have you said, I think you said earlier, have you got a list of all the bangers that they've had over the last since 2017, Monster Hunter World?
yeah, Monster Hunter World, and then there was the Monster Hunter World DLC, which was pretty well received, and then obviously we had the Resident Evil remake of Resident Evil 2. We had Resident Evil Village, also, and I believe Resident Evil 3. I mean, 3 was a good game, but like people just don't like how short it is.
Mm.
And then don't even forget Biohazard was also one of those games. And then we
Yeah.
had Monster Hunter Rise,
Yeah.
which was a Switch exclusive at the time, but now that's out. There's the Resi 4 remake. Then
Yeah.
we've got Street Fighter 6. I think I thought it was an okay game, which was Exo Primal.
Mm.
Like
Extra problem. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was an okay one. Then they had success with the Monster Hunter Now mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they had Dragon's Dogma 2. They had Monster Stories 2, and then Monster Stories 3 just came out recently.
Yeah.
Then we've also like you can even talk about Monster Hunter Wilds just this year alone. Monster Hunter Wilds,
Yeah. Yeah.
one of the most underrated games that came out last year was Kitsunami Path of the Goddess. That one was extremely underrated.
Mm.
Then we have things such as Requiem that came out this year. We've
Yeah.
got Pragmata that came out the other day. We've got Onimusha that's coming out later in the year. And then in 2027, we've got Mega Man. And these are the games that we know about. So that is an insane amount of games just nonstop. I think I was thinking about it. I think they are my favorite game developer of all time now.
Ooh, big.
Yeah.
Who was it? Did you think before?
Before would it
Bungie?
uh hmm I'd like to say Bungie, but no, I think it just would have been Bethesda.
BGS?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I struggle to look beyond them, to be honest with you. But I'd actually, you know what I'd have to do? I'd have to, and the thing is, there's so many amazing games out there. I'd have to write down. I'd have to see a list, right, and then mark them all off, and then put them into and categorize. Oh, it sounds like a lot of admin, but it sounds fun. And then I'd have to categorize them by publisher, and then that's the only way I think I'd be able to do a true one, like, or at least by number. Like, I mean, I just don't think anything is ever going to compete with Oblivion, Morrowind, and Skyrim for me. But we'll see. We'll see. um, but there are a lot of there's so many great studios out there. I think one of the best games I ever played was Plague Tale Requiem and Plague
Hmm.
Tale Innocence.
Yeah.
Those were so good. And who was that? I know it's Focus who published it. Plague Tale Requiem. It's a Asobo Studio, which I think is that the Flight Sim people as
It
well.
is indeed, yeah.
Yeah. So
Also,
it's unsurprisingly beautiful.
don't forget Connect Rush Disney Tale as well. Don't forget that one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's I do enjoy that. But there's one that I did mention. I probably should mention because I feel like I shouldn't glaze over it. Would be CD Project Red, Witcher and Cyberpunk are. I mean, Cyberpunk alone is one of the top 3 RPG games in my opinion.
Cyberpunk is amazing. I have
Yeah.
to say, it's fantastic. And Witcher, to be honest with you, I was a big I would have thought I would have preferred Witcher to Cyberpunk. 'Cause you know me, I do like I do
Fan-
like my science fiction and stuff, but
yeah,
I
you're a
love
fantasy guy.
fantasy guy. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, it's one of those. I actually preferred Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is fantastic. One of the one definitely, yeah, one of the best games ever made. Cyberpunk, and I played it actually recently on this relatively new PC, and it is like with all the bells and the whistles, and it's fucking amazing.
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah, I'd have to write them all again. I'd have to write them all down, and then and then I'd have to give you like a mean average, and then do you know what I mean? There'd be three like right answers to that one.
Yeah.
Maybe even four. But yeah, no, Capcom. Anyone who chose Capcom, I don't think I'd be able to ever. Um, I don't think I'd be able. I couldn't fault you for it. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't. There's no argument where I'd be able to say like, nah, come on. What about, they're too consistent. Um,
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's insane with how much they've just been. They haven't dropped a single thing.
mhm.
But
Yep, it is.
I'd just like what would you? Is there anything that you'd like to talk about in particular now? Now that we've moved into what we've been playing and given their Capcom their credits.
Capcom. I'm just trying to think. Oh god, just looking for the topics. What? Um, don't know. Should we, before we go into the, because there's obviously sort of more platform news. Should we just, do you want to mention that thing about Replaced? Because obviously that's a new game as well that's just come out.
Yeah,
Uh,
you sourced it to me, so why don't you lead it with it?
sure. Okay. Yeah. So Replaced. It's is a 2.5D game which was released recently. I think it's published by, who was it? Published by Thunderful, is it? Just going to double check that. Sorry. Um, Replace, yeah, Thunderful. And it's a cool it's a dark sort of cyberpunk thriller, 2.5D platformer, and it's obviously a smaller title. Although Thunderful are quite a big publisher, they're in the indie space. They're nowhere near AAA, and they had a piece of editorial coverage, or probably wouldn't surprise me to be honest if it was advertorial coverage with IGN, who gave a pretty misleading rage bait. Can't stand this type of thing because it happens all the time. It's everything that's wrong with Western world at the moment. Post about Replaced, where they said, and I'm trying to find the exact post, but they were misleading readers, basically, and whereby the you know that AI is a very, very, very hot button topic with people. People see AI and they completely freak out. Sometimes rightly so, sometimes completely unnecessarily. And IGN were extremely careless at best with their posts, labeling it an AI based adventure, um, which does not read very well. I hope that it was just an innocent mistake, but realistically, they knowing what a hot button topic it is, they need to do better, and especially if this was a paid piece of advertorial coverage. So much so that the studio came out very quickly, fair play to them, or replaced the social media came out. As we have seen, some people misunderstand what IGN means by AI based. We just want to clarify this game was 100% handcrafted, no generative AI was used to make this. What IGN is referring to is the story that it is about an AI in an alternative 80s America. Um, what I mean, I'm personally really annoyed with IGN. I don't think it was deliberate. I think they've done it because of the social media algorithms. knowing that it would get a load of engagement for the whole AI thing, because obviously their monetization model is clicks and engagement, um, as well as advertorial coverage. I think they've double dipped, and I think it. I don't know if it's advertorial, but I think that it is. To be honest with you, oh no, it's not. Sorry, it's the review. My bad. But even so, it's poor. It's rage. It's clickbait. Shithousery at its finest. To be honest with you, fair play for the dev, but for a smaller publisher, right? This, even though obviously Thunderful were quite big in the grand scheme of things, I think they're owned now by Atari or something. Anyway, this can be potentially damaging to a smaller team. This kind of shit, like misleading people, and I just think it's completely disgusting. And IGN should apologize publicly for this kind of or at least in the thread and say we're sorry, it's our bad, like because it needs to be called. To be honest with you, and yeah, I won't go into my whole conspiracy theories about the whole sort of social algorithms anymore because I'm boring you. I'd want to hear your opinion on it because I know that you saw it, but when I was running through the topics, I reminded myself of this one. I was like, oh, what was that thing with Replaced? What do you think about it? Have you played Replaced? I suppose you probably haven't.
No, I haven't. But I have seen a lot of coverage on the game. Like, I'm pretty sure this game came to Game Pass, didn't it?
I think so. I think it's I think it launched into Game Pass.
Yeah, but I think it's intentionally done when it comes to these type of things.
Absolutely.
When it comes to IGN, because it's basically the new way. Like rage baiting is kind of the new form of engagement.
Yep.
And for instance, like they gave what was that other game that came out recently? Mouse PI for Hire.
Yeah.
They gave that a 6, and like some of the like I don't like the person who wrote, like, this is an actual quote from from the actual like review. Too many cheese references is one of the things they bothered that person about the game, and I was like,
Yeah.
but it's a game about
It's a
mice.
fucking mouse. Come on, like, yeah.
Uh,
Honestly, I do think that these people don't like games either.
yeah, like there's too many. Like they were complaining about that game having too many references to old movies, and the game is basically inspired from like the Mickey
All
Mouse
movies,
kind of
yeah.
1930s animation.
Hmm.
Like there's things like that, and the same goes for not even just their gaming, but also goes for their like movies and TV shows as well.
Yeah.
They're like over. Sometimes they'll just say it's like a 4 or 5, and then like when everybody else thinks that it's a great episode, they'll drop it to like a even lower. Like they
Do you
always
do you
try
think
to go
do you
on.
think they do that to control uh like meta and or aggregation scores? Um, because IGNs and GameSpots and stuff like that, they carry a lot of weight in terms of the ranking, and I think it's and maybe rightly and wrongly so, to be honest with you. But do you think it's intentional to affect game scores?
Um, I feel like you are kind of correct in a way, but we should really be living in an age now where you shouldn't really be relying on IGN as your source of buying the game, because it's one person who played a game that mightn't even like that type of game to begin with.
This is the thing, right? This is the thing, right? So, and this is there actually needs to be better um, systems and workflows in place in order to plan who reviews what, right? Because here's the thing: if reviews are to advise buyers who might be on the fence, right, or people who are interested in something, so why are you having someone review the game who has zero interest in it? Or do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
obviously, yeah, there's the ones that obviously everyone wants to review and stuff like that. But like, come on, like, let's be real here. Like, if I'm not going to go, if I have zero interest in buying the game, I'm not really going to be looking for reviews, am I? I'm not going to be reading the reviews. So it should be from someone who is interested in buying, so you can give a good representation of what someone who is interested in this game might be looking for. Not someone who thinks that a game about a fucking mouse has got too much cheese in it. It's like, come on. Come on.
Yeah, and like that also just brings back to the actual replaced article as well. Like the word, like even just the wording and stuff like that in that, like people, like I'm pretty sure like IGN is the biggest news outlet in gaming,
They are.
but
Yeah,
like
by traffic.
yeah, but like I really think people should like Crimson Desert is probably the one game I go to where I'm like, that's a game that you need to play for yourself if you think that like in order for you to enjoy it. Like it's one of the most divisive games like I've seen it in a while. And
Yeah.
people like, and obviously there's the people that are like, oh, I can't play for like 4 or 5 hours in order to get into it. But I'm pretty sure like if people tried to play this game now, they would have a way different experience to anyone who even did the review of the game. And there's like a big update coming up for that next week that has a lot more changes. So, you know, I just feel like people need to start playing games for themselves. And like if you look at Steam right now, I'm pretty sure 4 of the top selling games are all single player games. Which
Yeah.
which then being Pragmata, Crimson Desert, Windrose is the name of it. And I think
Oh, dude, I just bought that game. I'm going to play it after I've finished with Everwind.
yeah, and I think the other one is replaced as well, but I'm not too sure on the fourth game. But like they're all single player games, you know? So
Yeah.
that is something that needs to be. Oh, if a mouse is like Mouse PI is a game that I didn't get at launch because I chose either Mouse PI or Pragmata. As I stated already, Capcom are probably my favorite developers. I will get to Mouse PI at some point,
Mm.
or like
I
I
did. The game looks so sick.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, and even at that, I can respect a game that like put like is in the craft to it and how the game actually works. It's kind of insane, you know.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel about when it comes to people's reviews and stuff like that. Like I'll always give a quick my opinion because it obviously is opinion based, but like I will always say like I recommend you get it if you want to, if you're into that type of thing,
Mm.
you know, not just what I think about it. And I have like, if you know, it's just
Yeah.
it's just a thing nowadays where people do that. Like sometimes I feel like when I'm listening to reviewing a game, I'm like when they're like hyping it up, I'm like, oh, okay, I might get it, you know. And like obviously,
Mm.
if I had no intention of getting it, but it's kind of just how it is with this day and age, I guess. Like people wanting the FOMO type of thing, you know.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I agree. I have nothing to add to that.
Yeah, no, but like but seeing news like that, you're just kind of like, eh. Like there is like a lot of frustrating things, but do you want to talk about how Xbox might be potentially adding a new tier, which is kind of funny how the way we were talking about it last week. We were talking about
Mm.
how implementing a different tier, and like you came up with a multiplayer one.
Mm.
Uh, but this comes from Tom Warren, and it says that Xbox is considering to introduce a new tier in the Game Pass featuring first party Xbox Studio games. Tom says it's unlikely that the company would remove existing games from subscribers. Xbox is considering not adding future Call of Duty titles. I'm pretty sure we talked about the Call of Duty thing last week.
Yeah. I mean, it makes so much sense to not do that. Like, if you like I said, what I said was about having a tier almost for Call of Duty. Obviously, you would have more than just Call of Duty in there.
Hmm.
Um, but you know you could have a handful of multiplayer online games like to pad it out a tiny bit. Um, but yeah, it makes sense. Like Call of Duty earns so many people buy it, and for a lot of people, it's all they buy in a year.
Yeah,
So by adding that to Game Pass, you effectively you take away from those people who bought it every year, because the casuals who you want to subscribe to Game Pass are not going to pay $30 a month. It's too expensive. You're better off having something that's maybe 10 or something, um, but has Call of Duty multiplayer in, because that's all they want to play. And then like, do you see what I mean? They're such casuals. Like they only want to play for a little while. Anyway, yeah, seen it. I think it makes sense. It's only a matter of time before it happens. They're gonna have to pick their moment when they do that, because when it rains, it pours for Xbox when it comes to news. To be honest with you.
yeah. I mean, like they could do with not being me out of the limelight for a bit, but we're heading into the Summer Games Fest and things like that. So Xbox like ramping up information, but the question is, okay, first party Xbox studio games.
Hmm.
What is considered a first party Xbox studio game now? I thought everything was.
What's considered first party?
Exactly. So like if they like they're gonna have to put Call of Duty in there. It's a first party game. They own they
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. I know.
So the wording is horribly wrong to begin with.
Um, well, you know what I think, and I said this in the last one. It needs to be the single. It's basically the single player
Yeah.
of Call of Duty needs to be in there. To be honest with you,
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just
campaign.
but you know what I mean, that wording
Mhm.
it can throw so many people off when you say first party.
Mhm.
But then again, nowadays Xbox owns so many things. People probably don't even know that Xbox is like Call of Duty is owned. You know?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. So many people won't know that,
Yeah,
or you know the casuals and stuff. They won't know that. I mean, the only other way you get around it is like you say with tiers, and then you have the ultimate, which has um which is $30, right? And it has absolutely everything: Call of Duty multiplayer, or XYZ, all everything. I mean, absolutely everything in. Then you have, because then you can justify the whole first party thing, and then you have the ultimate, and then you have ultimate single player ultimate, which is $20.
yeah,
And that doesn't have the online, um, the paid online subscription like multiplayer things like the so it has like the base bit of Elder Scrolls Online, for example, that you can play, but it doesn't include all the DLCs, etc., which would be in the Ultimate one or in the specific multiplayer gaming tier, for the people who just want it for multiplayer games because they only buy one single player game a year.
yeah,
Um, and I don't think it's that hard. I just think it needs a little bit of logic to it. Like they've got to. This is what a lot of companies don't seem to do. They don't seem to think, who's this for? Who's this for? Um, because it's not hard. You have I don't know off the top of my head, but you have maybe four different types of gamers. You have the hardcore who want to play all sorts of any kind type of genre, like probably like us really. You have the single player gamers who don't game at all with other people. They just want to. They don't really care for multiplayer games. They just want to play a good single player game. You have semi casuals who like, and they know a little bit about what's coming out. They'll play like the odd thing. They might spend about $120. Maybe, yeah. They buy 2 games a year or something. In one of them, including either Call of Duty or FIFA. Um, and then you've got the ultra super casuals, and those are the people who literally occasionally play a little bit online or something, or do you see what I mean? And those types of things. There aren't that many. And then there's and to be fair, obviously, then there's the indie gamer, and then these are people who play like all the little games that come out, and like they buy all the Steam bundles and stuff like that, and like yeah, those are your types of the Steam data will be misrepresentative in that element, because obviously you get a lot of B2B people buying bundles who just basically want to buy keys in bulk and resell them super fucking cheap. But it's not. I don't think it would be that hard. It just needs some very smart people at Microsoft with a lot of data, um, and a degree of, okay, a realist to look at the data and be like, okay, but is this data good data for us to make actionable business decisions on?
Yeah.
To put some tiers together. I mean, do you do you agree with it? And if so, have you had a thought about tiers beyond our chat about it last week?
Uh, See, for me, is you do add Call of Duty into one primary tier, and that would be the first party one.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so
But do you
it's
not think the first party could be the cheapest tier, though?
no, like I don't think it would be, because I feel like they will have to throw something else in there. So, say for instance, a WoW subscription, maybe
Mm-hmm.
like announce WoW coming to console, something like that.
Which, by the way, that would be huge.
Yeah, but like something like that is what I would think like would completely justify this. But
I think the thing is, if they brought WoW to console, and I know that it is not, but I think they should do a timed exclusivity um, on that if they brought that to console, because actually that would sell systems.
well, speaking of exclusivity though, there has been rumors that Xbox is considering to return to exclusives.
Which I know what you think about this. You and we're in agreement, right? That they absolutely need to do it. It's not a they should do it. They need to do it.
Yes, they need to,
Mm-hmm.
but which leads back to the whole argument of what is exactly going to be exclusive. You're not going to cut off to like 70% of your Call of Duty player base, you know, for exclusivity. Because we've
Here's the thing: Call of Duty, and big online multiplayer games. They you need to are better not being exclusive, because they thrive on having lots of players, and you don't. The games will die if you just kept them just on Xbox. Um, to be honest with you, to be completely frank, with things like Call of Duty, that is, and things and things of that nature. But I don't think that for pretty much everything else, I think there's no reason to release things on other platforms. Um,
I mean,
and
yeah,
by other platforms, I mean other consoles.
yeah, but like for instance, Starfield released what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago,
Yep.
and that has, as of 5 days ago, reported by Alina Analytics that it only sold 140,000 copies.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised with how low that number is.
Yeah. I mean, how long? How many weeks ago was it like a week ago now or something? It released on PlayStation.
Roughly around a week.
Yeah. I mean that's not amazing, but it's not a disaster. I suppose it's cheaper now as well, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that's low, but it just goes back to what you said about the whole PlayStation thing, and then on releasing them on Steam, and it's like, okay, yeah, most of those people who, because it's been so long. Starfield is what, 2023? We're in
Yep.
2026 now. Three years later, it's like, if it's a year's timed exclusivity, then fine. But games that are older, it's like most people have already got them. They've been that game. Starfield is. Let me just have a little.
I mean,
Oh,
you do say that, and there is one game that I'm gonna say that will kind of counter your statement.
go on.
Forza
No, go
Horizon
on. Hit me.
5.
Forza Horizon 5. Fair enough. Fair enough. But the Forza Horizon is a super. Um, uh, First of all, it was much better critically
Mm.
um, than than Starfield. Also, it's a far more has far greater appeal, and Starfield got absolutely hammered um, by people and stuff. So I think it killed a lot of the hype for that game. And have you heard about the release state of Starfield on
Oh,
PS5?
it's it's running terribly.
It's and to be fair,
That's not the first game, by the way. Now, if you've seen anything about Fallout 4 uh on Switch or anything like that,
yeah.
it's pretty bad the way they're releasing their games.
Mm.
But for context, for people listening, that Starfield sold 140,000 copies after a week.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as of April, as of April 2025, or sorry, apologies. Yeah, so it's been out for roughly what, a year. So in the space of 1 year, it sold over 5 million copies.
For Forza Horizon 5, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a yeah, but it has far greater mass. So did you say Forza Horizon 5?
yeah, Forza Horizon
Yeah,
5.
yeah, yeah. It's got far greater mass market appeal because it's a casual game. It's a
Yeah,
racing game. Anyone can pick that up and play it of all ages.
yeah,
You know, you can pick up Forza Horizon and play the game and have fun and be able to play it. Starfield is a is an RPG experience. So and one that is not nowhere near as highly rated critically, and user reviews. I mean, if you go onto Steam and go to Starfield, I'm pretty sure it is mixed. Yeah, 57%. Like it's like Forza Horizon 5 is was critically and let's go on that one on Steam quickly as well. Forza
it's probably
Horizon.
mostly positive or
No, it's very
overwhelmingly.
positive. It's
Yeah,
88%.
yeah,
So it's a different level critically and in terms of market appeal. Like it's unsurprising. Plus, if you think about this, PlayStation gamers they have outsold Xbox and consoles like what is it 4-1 now or something.
mm-hmm.
They will have most of the casuals, and a casual gamer doesn't really have any interest in Starfield, um, unless there's buzz about it for them to find out about it. And you know what kind of content's been coming out about Starfield pretty much since um, well the start really. Not good, most of it.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I am surprised it's that low, but you factor in a few like the bugs and everything like that, um, and it starts to make sense. And obviously, older game appealing to a smaller fan base, it does make sense.
yeah, no, like, but it's the thing. Like, there's also like an online aspect to Forza Horizon as well, which can also appeal.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
like for instance, like one thing I didn't bring out there, but I think it meant the rounds the day after we publish our video that the GTA Online,
hmm
their biggest player base is on PS5, and
yeah, yeah,
then
yeah,
it's PS4, and then it's Xbox Series X. So, for instance,
mm.
uh, on average, on the GTA Online platform for
Yeah,
PS5, there's 3.4 million people that play that game on a weekly basis.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
On
Because
PS4, on
mhm.
PS4 alone, there's 1.8 million people that still play that game.
Yeah, it's ludicrous, isn't it?
And then on Xbox and Xbox One, so both of them, there's over 1 million each. And I'm very surprised with PC it's less than a million. It's 800,000 or almost 900,000.
Mm.
So you can see Xbox's strategy with their live service games. I would consider Forza a live service game because of the fact that
Yeah, yeah.
the weekly or the a lot of content that they uppost plus all the weekly challenges against rival quote unquote other players. It's
Mm.
a multiplayer game at heart that would have
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so you can see what exactly Xbox are pushing for there. So when it comes to going back to them saying that they want to bring back exclusivity, like 5 million, like missing out on 5 million copies, which is revenue roughly around 300 million in revenue. I don't think that's something that they're going to want to pull the plug on, if I'm being completely honest.
So here's the thing. Um, Forza Horizon and live service games, and Call of Duty, you can kind of understand it, right?
Mhm.
But um, you need to protect you need to protect your platform, and you need to keep the hardcore coming along. Like relating the whole thing back to exclusivity and and their current strategy can people are like, oh, they can't backpedal, and they can, and I can tell you right now how it can work for them because they've just brought a load more new people into these IP, and when those new people who really enjoyed those games are making a decision about buying a platform next generation, if they now know that from if Xbox make it very very clear that from Project Helix launch onwards, they will first party content that is not live service will be found only on Xbox, only within the Xbox ecosystem. Then suddenly your box becomes a more compelling uh, thing to buy for next generation, or your box, whatever it is, your PC hybrid, whatever. Um, Whatever it is you're selling next generation becomes more compelling. And so I think you've got to be reasonable. Like obviously, where there's ludicrous amounts of money on service games, um, and that thrive on multiplayer, especially if it's crossplay, that thrive on those types of things. Because I do believe in crossplay. I think it's a great thing that they brought in. Then it's yeah, it makes sense. But if you've got to give people a reason to come to your platform, um, and um, and I think they can do it, and I think they will. If I'm being totally honest with you.
Yeah, no, it is exciting. It is exciting. I will say that. Do you know what else is exciting in the
But what's this?
on in the Xbox news is that their teams are collaborating with each other to make their games much better. I think so. For instance, in a interview recently on the Xbox podcast, Matt Booty went on recently, and he
Yeah,
started talking about how certain teams are collaborating with other teams within Xbox. So, for instance, the Coalition helping In Exile Entertainment on Clockwork Revolution on the Unreal 5 engine. Blizzard Entertainment providing cinematic support for Playground Games as Fable. That one I found very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Compulsion Games using the Activision mocap studio. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Rare sharing multiplayer expertise from Sea of Thieves to help Double Fine's new game, Killin'. Obsidian Entertainment took suffocated persistence world save technology from Undead Labs and State of Decay 2, enhanced it and used it in Grounded. Improved technology has now been sent back to Undead Labs for State of Decay 3. King plus Mojang collaborated on a Minecraft Blast. It combines King's expertise with Mojang's Minecraft IP. Minecraft's in-game store technology was adapted into Flight Simulator, and the same technology later made its way into Starfield. Teams are also sharing narrative tools, best practices, and other developments towards like their games and how they approach them.
Yeah.
Joe, I don't know about you, but some of them don't make sense. But then there's some of them that are very, very exciting and make me optimistic. For instance, Compulsion using the mocap studio at Activision. Like,
Yeah.
that one's a big one. Plus, my most excited one is Blizzard Entertainment providing the cinematic support for Playground Games.
They are very good. Their cinematics, Blizzard, to be fair.
Yeah, they have some of the best.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Yeah, I I feel like I have a bit of a spicy take on this. Don't get me wrong. It's interesting and is great to hear, but it's like well, you should be doing that really. Like, otherwise, what's the point in being under the same umbrella? Like, yeah, I think it's good that they're doing it, but it is kind of like it's kind of like getting a pat on the back for doing something that you just should be doing anyway. It's like okay, when I go to my missus and I'm like, oh yeah, I've done the dishes. She's just like, would you say that to me like you want me to say well done? You should be doing them, and I'm like, okay, I feel stupid now. It is kind of like that a little bit. Don't get me wrong. It's cool for us to read about, but I don't think it's and to read about and be like, oh, that's kind of that's interesting and stuff like that. But it's not really. It doesn't. People don't. People shouldn't be like being like, oh yeah, that's well done. Like it's because they should be doing that. To be fair, what I mean, am I being unnecessarily harsh? Do you think or?
I mean, yes and no. Mainly for the fact that we thought these are things that PlayStation were doing. I mean, technically they did. Fucking Bluepoint co-developed Ragnarok, basically,
Hmm.
as well as some other teams. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
Yeah, I mean, but they share engines and stuff like that as well, and do it just it's one of those things. It's like it's almost it's almost uh it's almost stupid to not share ideas, expertise, and technology when you can. Um, it seems I don't know. It's kind of for me. Yeah. If someone came along and said, oh, we're gonna share these ideas and like, we'll get the. I'll be like, okay, that's great. Well done. Like, but it's no more than that. I am glad that it's actually happening and it's not being stopped in a way because I guess big organizations like Microsoft, things like that could be political, but I guess that's a reach though, in my opinion. But um, yeah,
yeah, no, that's understandable. That's fair. Like, I just see it as a point of like, it's good that both they're one team is helping another one, and then in return they're getting more information on said engine or software that they use.
Do you know the one that I like most? Obsidian Entertainment took sophisticated, persistent, world-save technology from Undead Labs' State of Decay 2, enhanced it, used it in Grounded, improved technology has now been sent back to Undead Labs for State of Decay 3. That's the kind of shit that I think fair play, because that takes it beyond, right?
Yeah.
Because that's more than just sort of sharing technology. That shows like a thing like whereby that's collaboration, right? Because
Hmm.
that's yeah. That's the best one there in my opinion. Um,
Yeah, no, like it's good to see that this is how uh they're like working together. Like
yeah.
it is important that this is
Mhm.
happening for the
Yeah.
sake of the teams as well. So
Yes.
that is important. And like one other bit of Xbox news that we got was basically we found out more about the Netflix's Gears of War movie that is officially happening. So
Oh wow. Yeah.
Gears of War, I think it's going to happen. We might have draft in the progress that is really in good shape. The studio is more determined more than ever. Netflix is 100% behind it. You know, like I'm pretty sure that it is the entire quote. It's from Collider, which is a website that I don't really use that often. But yeah, they're basically saying that it's basically going to happen now. And if I'm being honest with you, I'll just believe it when I see it. Until then, I don't care. Like
Yeah.
this is
It
something
wouldn't
I've been
surprise
hearing
me.
for years, like a long, long time. Like I remember when people like, oh, Dave Bautista should be playing Marcus Phoenix, that type of
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I actually think it is happening. I don't have um any inside information on that or anything like that.
Hmm.
Um, but I think it is. I definitely think it's happening because the people at Microsoft are basically looking at other revenue opportunities for these games and the IP. And if they're going to allegedly allow for better margin or like less aggressive margins, they're going to be like, okay, that they're going to be like, okay, well, how are we going to recoup that? And something as simple as uh, licensed IP TV shows are they're like a double. They're an easy win, and they have layers to how useful they are because obviously they make the IP more mainstream and get it out and more people engaged with it. So yeah, uh,
Hmm.
I think for that reason I think it's happening. Um, whether or not it ends up getting killed for whatever reason, that's a different story. But I do think that it's probably in the works.
Do you know what? I thought was dead at one point, but now it seems to be in the works, as you just said.
Mm.
Bloodborne's animated movie that Sony
Mm.
announced. Uh,
Yeah.
so this is probably one of the low key exciting newses, mainly for the fact that Irish content creator Jacksepticeye is producing the movie, and
Mm.
he is a massive Souls fan. He adores Bloodborne. He gets the Souls series. So an R-rated animated movie about this is fun, but however, where the fuck is the game? Anyway,
Yeah, and this is what I saw. Like, okay, so this is the thing. Like, a Bloodborne. Both of these things could make fantastic movies. By the way, Gears and Bloodborne. They are both the types of games, highly cinematic. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they would
yeah,
make fantastic games. However, um, they yeah, I saw someone comment on the whole Bloodborne thing, and it was like, people, Bloodborne fans don't even ask for a PC port anymore. They just look at you like, and it's that. I can't remember his name. It's like the guy that's been memed loads. What's his name? people basically everyone's basically commenting, being like they will make an animated movie but not a remake,
Yeah.
or just like a new game and stuff. And it's like, but don't be surprised if there is a new game announcement at some point.
I mean, yeah, but they could have easily have had 2 and 2 together if they just kept Bloodborne and had
Oh yeah,
Bloodborne
oh yeah.
making the
Don't
instead of
forget,
instead of a God of War live as service game.
don't forget, and then we'll get into that in a second. But don't forget, we are very very close to game showcase season.
There's nothing Bloodborne related going to be talked about at all.
You may well be right, but you never know. So let's just honestly, it would be very surprising to it would be an own goal to not release something in the same window where there's the hype.
Yeah, I do get that. Like,
Especially something that hasn't had anything for ages. I mean, I guess Fallout did it.
but see, the thing is, in the gaming community, when it comes to Bloodborne, Bloodborne is a quench like equivalent to the modern day Half-Life 3 type of thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I know exactly what you mean. Like it's one of those games where like it released what on PS4? Was it in
it was a
2016?
PS4 launch title, yeah.
Yeah. So 2014 then or 13, and it it was an absolute hit, and then there's been nothing from the IP since. And isn't it a
From
Sony owned
software.
studio now? It's FromSoft. Yeah.
Well, FromSoft
Um,
isn't a studio owned by them, but Sony owns the IP.
I'm sure that Sony bought FromSoft.
No, they have a stake in the same company that they own, so they don't technically own FromSoft, but they have like a percentage in the company that owns them.
Okay. Yeah. 10% stake in Katakawa. Yeah.
Yeah, and Katakawa is owned by and like owns
Mhm.
FromSoft. But yeah,
Fair.
no, this is very interesting news. I'm
I hope it happens. I hope both of them happen.
I like I'm gonna be there day one for an R-rated animated movie.
Yeah.
A Bloodborne
Yeah.
one?
As long as it's not like a hentai one.
Nah, I'm really curious about what the animation style will be because we are a few months uh short of the new From Software animated Sekiro anime that's coming out soon,
Mhm.
and that should be interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it can. I just like hopefully Sean, aka Jacksepticeye, can do a good job. I have
Mhm.
full confidence in him, and hopefully this is a new turn when it comes to Sony. But just when you think that it is going to be a good turn, you do also get the same type of news that PlayStation's Prayer Games, the game that they announced ages ago, is now prepping to become an extraction shooter. Oh
Mm.
boy, Joe, talk about a game that should be dead and buried, and
Yeah.
and the fact that I just, let me just like I'm speechless talking about this. We shouldn't be talking about fair games in 2026. It should have been cancelled. It should have been
Yeah.
cancelled.
Agreed.
Documents sent to Insider Gaming indicate that Haven Studios' upcoming multiplayer Fair Games will lean into the extraction shooter genre and will have a dedicated game mode. The game, which was revealed in 2023, Jesus Christ, 2023, has sparked several rumors, reports, and its development troubles, notably issues with the studio ability to find the fun factor. And I'm just going to stop there because I have heard myself from people who have worked on the game that this is not a good game.
Oh.
This game has been in a development hell
Mm.
so much. It has been reset twice.
Damn.
This is what I mean. We have fair games and Haven Studios that are still currently being worked on at Sony, but you close companies such as the Outlaw team who are making a single player FPS and the
Mm.
other team which was Bluepoint, who, as we just spoke about in the last topic, could have made.
Yeah.
a remake of Bloodborne. This, I don't think Sony understands how much of a failure this is going to be. Concord's level of failure. And just for your information, Concord sold less than 100,000 copies. I'm pretty sure it sold less than
How
50,000
many years of
copies.
development?
Too long, like 7-8 years, something like that.
They're not
And
learning the lesson here, are they? Totally with this, like
and it's the worst. Like it's the same thing again. Sony bought the team that made Concord before, and they'd never worked with them before or anything like that. It made no sense why they bought them, and Herman Hulse was like, "Oh, this is the next big Star Wars thing." Like, remember when Concord was coming out, it had the animated series that was supposed to be announced. It had that next level Amazon Prime TV show. It had a controller. Like, they pushed that to the absolute max, and it sold less than 50,000 copies.
Oh God.
You know, that like
Yeah.
this game is going to die a miserable death. Like, the only thing I can see what could happen with this game is kind of like a High Guard situation. High Guard hit high numbers, but that was only because it was free to play, and it was the talk of the town.
Yeah.
Fair Games isn't going to get that. Like,
No.
bear in mind, we've never seen gameplay. We've only seen that CGI trailer. And I can understand the game is technically can work in the extraction shooter genre due to the fact that it is you basically rob a bank, get whatever, and then come, like, there is an extraction to that element, but
yeah, I mean, are they kind of doing like the whole sort of like payday type thing?
Yeah, but this is something that people don't want, and I'm not sure if you've seen, there is a game that Bad Robot Games are working with Sony for. It's called For Loop. It's some of the developers behind Back 4 Blood, and my God, bro, that looks so bad. Sony has a big problem, and it stands with multiplayer games. Really,
Yeah,
really
it
big.
does. Yeah.
Like, if I'm being completely honest, close the studio, keep the devs, put them devs onto Bungie, so you can have Destiny 2 as well as Marathon running at the same time to make generate as much revenue as you can. Like, and I don't like talking about like multiplayer things because I'm more of a single player person nowadays. But when we're just normal people out here that aren't in the boardrooms and in the creative teams, like, we know what is best for the company. We don't even work there.
Yeah.
Like, that is the one factor with PlayStation that just I can't seem to get my head around. Like,
this is the problem, right? With Sony being as dominant as they are, is that they have the room to run to try and suss this live service stuff before they even have to bother competing with Xbox again. Especially because Xbox, going back to, ties back to the whole exclusivity thing. And it's like, well, we don't have to worry about what Xbox are doing because they're releasing their games on our platform anyway. So, this is what a lack of competition gets you, fellas and fellarettes and others in between. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, Sony are chasing elusive cash cows that they can milk, that will just be there for years and years and years, because they don't have to worry about all the other stuff. They can be like, okay, well, let's just keep going with the studios we've got now to do the games that they were already working on, and the IP that we've got and we've nurtured and we've done such a good job with, and that they can just sort of do the say, well, we can like go off and chase this elusive golden egg.
yeah, no, they had the anomaly with Helldivers, and obviously they tried to buy Arrowhead, but Arrowhead rejected, and it is going to be very interesting to see what becomes of Sony. They're too big for their boots lately. They're too big for their boots.
Yeah, they are, and it's a sad state of affairs, right? This is why this is what happens.
Yeah.
Really, and this is why, this is why if Xbox actually did uh, grow a metaphorical pair, and say, okay, everything from Project Helix onwards is not online service is exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem, then suddenly you'd have some people inside Sony who might be sweating, because they do have the they have the IP and they have the studios to compete. Um, uh, because I mean, take nothing away from Sony's single player studios like the Naughty Dogs of this world, and but they Microsoft have just as much, and they have, I think, larger teams as a by and large that can churn out games a lot faster.
Oh yes,
Um,
so much more, so much more.
so you've got to, yeah, it would be very interesting to see a fight like that. I still think that Sony would dominate the console market, but I think it would even up quite a lot towards the end, and whereby if there was a console generation after the Project Helix PS6 generation, then it would be very interesting. Um, uh, to see, yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Hey, yeah, that's
I
that's
think
good.
it wouldn't be that hard for Sony to turn things around, like to turn things around, and it will, and I do think it will happen, and it'll happen very suddenly. So yeah,
Yeah, but like I just think that it's a game that shouldn't come out. If I'm being completely honest with you,
you're right, but maybe fair games father Jade Raymond. Jade Raymond, why does that ring a bell? Is that
because she has worked on so many games, and
but
I'm
what's
pretty
she
sure.
known for? Jade Raymond.
Like, look at the list of games that she's worked on, and tell me if you notice
No, for the
anything.
creation of Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs. Okay, fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
but
Assassin's Creed.
but
Uh,
yeah, she worked on Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell, and pretty sure that's the last thing she's worked on because every single thing that she's worked on has not came out since.
Wow.
There's like this like inside joke within the gaming development uh world where she I'm pretty sure she was a part of the PlayStation. Yeah, she was a PlayStation executive at one point, and like it all went downhill just very quickly. But speaking of Assassin's Creed as well, I have some Assassin's Creed Black Flag resync information
Oh yeah.
that I'll get through here. So,
Yes.
the game is set to be revealed fully as of Thursday next week. Also,
Mhm.
before we even continue with this, I said there would be a state of play next week or this week.
Yeah.
Didn't happen whatsoever.
No.
I'm very shocked with that news,
Mm.
especially from insider Nate the Hate, who's usually spot on. Like, so I'm very surprised. And like another game I will talk about in a minute, which is Metro. I thought that would be like shown off there, but then like we found out the next day it was a place, like it was an Xbox, like there was like an Xbox thing that happened with that game.
Did they have a Game Pass deal with that?
I don't know if there was if there was a Game Pass deal. Being completely honest with you, but
Was it 2039? Was it?
yeah, Metro 2039. Yeah, let's just go back with the Black Flag remake news. So, set to be revealed.
Oh, it's coming to Xbox Game Pass.
It is.
Yeah.
Holy, that's information I didn't even know, but that's information that we'll have here to talk about in a minute. So, Black Flag shown off next week. The current gen game only. It's a full remake, not just a remaster, which I find very surprising. You can now have pets on your ship, so a cat or a monkey, something like that, or a parrot. Improved underwater exploration, good.
Mhm.
Tons of new content and story additions, new officers, new crewmates, new quests, new chapters for Kenway's backstory. That'll be interesting. Built on the latest Assassin's Creed engine and not subsidized, and will be likely a full priced game at launch. So probably around like 70 to 80 euro. So I recently platinumed Black Flag, I want to say a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that had multiplayer in it, and that was there. You need to hit like the max level on multiplayer in order to get one of the trophies for that, and that was excruciatingly painful. And I'm happy that this game probably doesn't have that, from what I read. Uh, the game does have a good overhaul on it, so hopefully it might be worth picking up. But these are all welcoming things. Let's hope the game actually runs well.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. That's kind of critical, really, and there's no excuse for it to not.
Yeah, so but that is Black Flag information. There is also more Ubisoft news, but it's very, very, very little news. It's the
Mm.
next Far Cry game is going through a rough development hell, according to uh, Henderson over at Insider Gaming. So that I'm pretty sure that was actually supposed to be like announced already.
Mm.
But hey, that wouldn't be the first game in development hell. Look at Beyond Good and Evil 2. You know?
Indeed. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's surprising, by the way, how many games get development hell. To be honest with you, there's so many we don't hear about, and as Pragmata has proved, don't doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to be a shit game. So
No, that's absolutely true. But there's one game I kind of want to end off this with, and that is the new Metro 2039 game. It had a trailer reveal there the other day. Did you watch the trailer?
I did watch the trailer. I watched the 15-minute thing as well, where they spoke to the developers and stuff.
Yeah, dude, that looks. I gotta say, it's one of the better gaming trailers I've watched in a while.
Mm. Oh yeah, yeah. It looked really, really good. It looked really, really, really good. Like, I mean, it's a fantastic, very atmosphere. I love the obviously the atmospheric storytelling they're gonna do and stuff. Like, it's people. I think this game's can. It should do very well, as long as the game is priced well. Because it's going into Xbox Game Pass. Don't forget.
Yeah.
And as long as it doesn't release like broken and buggy, because I'm pretty sure the same thing happened with Stalker 2.
Yeah,
The game released in a pretty bad state, and
yeah, their New Life engine didn't work or something like that.
yeah. So you know, this game particularly will do well on PC.
Absolutely,
Yeah, but it is releasing in Game Pass. That's definitely according to the internet. So
yeah, and I'm pretty sure if you go on PlayStation right now, you can find all 3 games plus the DLC for like €6.
yeah, I think there's a bundle on Xbox as well. Apparently,
Yeah,
so I saw that online too. So yeah,
yeah. So I'd highly
guys,
recommend picking up.
Definitely go. I mean, I played them all when they got dropped into Game Pass around the time of Metro Exodus.
Yeah, no, I played them a good while back. I remember playing them back on the PS4 when it came out.
Yeah. I played it on the Xbox One X, I think, back in. Yeah.
Yeah, no, great games, great games.
Definitely, yeah. And fair play, to the team. Again, some of them in a war zone and stuff. It's going to be difficult. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But with all that being said, I think that's all of our news topics, if I'm not mistaken. It's quiet,
Yeah.
or it's a quieter news week. Not every week has to be super long, but this is the calm before the storm.
It is. Yeah.
Like there, like I was kind of hoping I have plans, like we were talking about other video ideas
Yeah.
to come up when there's such things like this. Like we could make like a bracket of, let's say, the top 32 like RPGs of all time, and make our way down to see if we can discuss and talk about which one would be the winner, things like that.
You know what we could do with this? Like, we could think about a list of these things and put them out to the community to see if there's what people would like to hear about, or hear us talk about, and things like that. Or we can just pick one to see if it resonates first, maybe, and then put them out there. But yeah, no, that sort of thing is really cool. Like, I think they're lots of fun to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we'll probably have prediction videos coming out in the near future. We'll probably have one for the Summer Games Fest. Then we'll obviously do one again in the Game Awards, because we love our Game Awards stuff here.
Yeah.
I watch it every year religiously, and the same with the Summer Games Fest. So last year we had Resi 9. I hope there tends to be a trend where these games get announced and released in a short period of time, less than like 6 months. So
that would be sick, especially because Capcom are not missing.
absolutely not, and we'll finally probably get a release date for Onimusha at the Summer Games Fest.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of big announcements at Summer Games Fest this year. So some of which I know about.
But yeah, no,
yeah.
I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. But yeah, Joe, I think that's us for today. Joe, if people want to, find out where you were, or they want to talk to you, where can they find you?
You can find me as Mopish Lawyer on platforms, on your Steam, your Xboxes, your PlayStations. You can find me online with this of the same name, as well as at my game distribution company, 3 Gaming Pillars. So 3gamingpillars.com, and here on this lovely podcast and channel with Davey Plays.
Yeah, well, that's this week's episode. Hopefully, there isn't something announced tomorrow that puts our whole entire week in a spiral.
Which has been happening to us recently, by the way.
Yeah, like we'll say something, and then boom, the next day something else is announced. But at the same time, it gives us a lot of stuff to talk about at the end of the week and our thoughts. If there's something like super, super breaking and amazing, like we'd obviously like make an emergency podcast and things like that. But yeah, no, thanks everyone for stopping on by, and we shall see you in next week's video.